We will also walk through the 1040 forms. You can see that US individual income tax return 2022, right? So I'll be covering the filing status later. Let me first walk through the flow, because 1040 flow is very important. You have to understand the flow. You can see the filing status. That is the first thing we are going to learn. What is filing status? Single, married, jointly, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, and qualifying surviving spouse. So we'll be discussing later. But you can see that you have to first fill up your name, last name, your social security number. You can also file the joint return. So you have to enter the spouse first name, middle name, last name, and also the spouse social security number is also required to be filled up. Right? This is very basic thing actually. So when you when you prepare the checklist, that time one of the line item of checklist is you have to find out the social security number of the spouse, social security number of your client, home address, apartment number, and so forth. This is very important because the addresses should be properly written, because this is important when the communication point of view is also very important. Okay. And then this thing they have recently added digital assets because of the cryptocurrency. So they have added one of the line item, digital assets. Then we have the standard deduction. We'll see that standard deduction when someone can claim you as a dependent and your spouse as a dependent. So anyway, we'll discuss that also. If you see the income, so anyway, I'm not going. I'll cover this dependent portion and the tax credit later. But if you see the income, because here our focus is income. Income is total amount from form number W2. So W2 is like in India, we have form 16. So you can see that W2 form you will get from your employer and you have to file W2 form. You have to attach the form W2 form, and even these are the income, whatever you are reporting, tips is there. Then you have the taxable dependent care benefits are there. All the W2 form you have to attach. And then if you see all the schedules are there. If you see the schedules, Schedule B is flowing directly to 1040. Let me tell you again, Schedule B is flowing directly from directly to 1040. So you can see that you can find the interest, taxable interest, ordinary dividend. So there is a qualified dividend and unqualified dividend basically. So we'll discuss that in detail when we cover the Schedule B. But this Schedule B is, let me show you the Schedule B. Give me 1 minute. Schedule B. You can see the Schedule B actually, right? If you see the part 1, part is the interest and part 2 is the ordinary. Are you able to see the screen? Just give me 1 minute. If you're not able to see, 1 minute. Let me share the screen again. So you will see the interest and ordinary dividend. Schedule B is basically directly flowing to 1040. Remember that, Schedule B, right? You can see the interest and the ordinary dividends. So interest and ordinary, part 1 is the interest and part 2 is basically dividend. You can see the ordinary dividends. So I'll explain Schedule B in detail. Don't worry about that. But only thing today, what we are going to first discuss the flow. So the dividend and interest income is flowing from Schedule B. You can see that Schedule B, right? And they say that very well. If line 4 is over 1,500, you must complete part 3. So part 3 is basically foreign account and trust. So you have to answer all these questions. If your total income on account of ordinary dividend or interest, if it is in excess of $1,500, then you have to fill up the part 3. This is there. And this is basically is flowing, right, to the 1040 form. 1040 form. You can see that, right? So schedule B, attach schedule B if required. So if it is small amount, less than 1,500, directly you can enter. If it is more than $1,500, obviously schedule B is prepared and you can fill up the schedule B, right? Then we have the schedule D. Now you may ask the question, where is schedule C? Now schedule C is basically flowing from, it is flowing from schedule 1. If you see the schedule 1, yeah, W2 form, I'll show you that. I'll show that. Schedule, this basically, if you see the part 1, additional income and adjustment to income. So it's not that only the income you are getting from W2, that is the salary income, but there are some additional income is there other than salary income, right? You can see all the list of the item. We'll discuss that additional income, but just now just see the flow actually. So you can see that, you know, all the additional income. You can see the schedule C here, business income or loss, attach schedule C. You can see that here. Business income or loss, attach schedule C. So schedule C is not directly flowing to 1040. It is flowing through schedule 1. So schedule C is basically your business income or loss, right? So schedule C is directly is not flowing to 1040. It is through schedule 1. You can see that, right? Schedule C. Then the D, schedule D is not flowing to schedule 1. It is directly to 1040 form. You can see that schedule D. So first of all, you should be aware, right, where this flowing to 1040. So if you see the 1040 form here, schedule D is there, right? So schedule D is basically, you can see that capital gain or loss, attach schedule D if required. If not required, check here, right? So this schedule D, basically, you know, let me open the schedule D if it is there on, let me go through it. I have to open the, 1 minute, schedule D. Schedule D. You can see the schedule D, capital gains and losses. So capital gains and losses, you have to attach to form number 1040, right? So short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain, all these things we'll discuss. There is a separate topic is there. So I'll be, there's a 2 lectures are there on capital gain. So, you know, you can just see the how this is flowing. You can see the form number 8949. 8949. This is the 8949 basically. You can see that 8949. So you have to prepare the 8949. From 8949 form, it is flowing to schedule D, and from schedule D, it is flowing to 1040. So it's not going to schedule 1. Let me tell you, schedule D is directly flowing to 1040. At the same time, schedule B is also flowing to 1040 directly. So it is not routing through schedule 1. Schedule 1 is for schedule C. Schedule C we know very well now. The schedule C is basically, if you see the schedule 1, schedule C is there. So the schedule C is not directly flowing to 1040. Schedule C is flowing through schedule 1, right? So you can see the 1040. I will give the mnemonics also to, you know, you can remember, right? Then you can see that schedule E is also there. Can you see the schedule E? So your rental passive income, rental, real estate, royalties, partnership. Partnership is pass-through entity. That means that income is passed through from the partnership to your tax return. So partnership S corporation is basically you become an equity shareholder of S corporation. Your share of your income, it is flowing, right, from your partnership return and S corporation return, basically you get a K1, form number K1. K1 you get from the partnership firm and the S corporation, where the K1 provides the details of your share of your income, right? The partnership firm prepares form number K, which is the total income, and then K1, individual K1 forms basically they issue to the individual client, right? So partnership and the S corporation income, individual share, it is basically through schedule E. You can see the schedule E. I'll show you the schedule E also. So schedule E is, this is schedule E. You can see the schedule E, supplemental income and losses. So if you see the schedule E, no, it is all passive income, right? Rent, royalties, and then whatever the expenses you are incurring to earn the rent and royalties, is everything is displayed here. And then you have the income and losses from partnership and the S corporation. You can see that part 2 schedule, where you get the income and loss from partnership and the S corporation, right? And the part 3 is basically income or loss from the estate and trust. Even the trust also, when trust distribute the money, that time trust also, the beneficiary is basically is required to include in her or his income whatever the money they receive from the trust and from the estate, and the income and loss from real estate, mortgage, investment. So these are the basically passive income. You can see schedule E, no, these are basically the passive income, and it is flowing where to schedule 1, basically, right? Schedule 1. So let me repeat again. See the 1040 form and schedule 1. You should know basically which line item is flowing directly to 1040 and which line item is flowing, which form number is flowing to schedule 1, and from schedule 1 to 1040 finally. So you can see that the schedule 1, schedule C, right? Schedule E and schedule F. The 3 forms are basically, flowing to the schedule 1 and from schedule 1 to 1040. So if you see the 1040, now you should know that which items are directly flowing to 1040. That's very important. That's why I'm saying that, you should know the form number, form, and how the flow is actually. So flow, basically, if you see the flow, the 1040, right? You can see the 1040 here. So W2 is directly flowing, the amount is flowing to 1040 directly. You can see W2. Then schedule B, you can see that, right? And the schedule D. So schedule B, D, and W2. These are the 3 things are flowing from the form number, right? Then we have you can see that adjustment to income from schedule 1. So basically, once you are done with the schedule 1, which includes your schedule C, your schedule E, and schedule F. All these 3 schedules are basically, that is flowing to schedule 1, and from schedule 1 to 1040. You can see that, right? So it means once you pull the amount from schedule 1, you are also incorporating schedule C, schedule E, schedule F. Schedule B to anyway you have, and schedule D you are having it, right? So now what exactly when you subtract the line number, this is your adjusted gross income, right? Adjustment to income. You can see that. Then you subtract the line number 10, adjustment to income. This is the other income from schedule 1, line 10. If you see the schedule 1, line 10, you'll see that schedule 1, line 10. You can see line 10. Line 10 is combined lines 1 through 7 and 9 enter here on form number 1040. So from line 10, you are basically, the amount is, you are pushing to 1040, right? Line 10. And if you see the second part, which is the adjustment to income. So all the expenses, right, other than Schedule C, for example, and say educator expenses, these are the basically expenses allowed. These are the expenses allowed. So you get the deduction, adjustment to income. This is the income basically, right? And this is adjustment to income. So that is also, you can see that it is given, no, add line 11 to 23. Finally, the line number 26. These are your adjustment to income. Enter here and on form number 1040. So even the 1040 forms, if you see that, your other income from Schedule 1, line 10, these are all income, right? And the adjustment to income from Schedule 1, line 26, deductions are there, right? And then after that, we go to Schedule A. Schedule A is basically item-wise deduction. So we always calculate the standard deduction or item-wise deduction. You'll see that wherever the benefit you get, you just enter the amount. Now the standard deduction limit, they have increased. So obviously, item-wise deduction is basically people are now not using the item-wise or taken the housing loan. That time the interest is very high. So you may take the advantage of item-wise deduction.